Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are located. Thank you all so much for joining Amtrak Vacations as today we feature the National Parks by Rail. First and foremost, just want to take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Jim Marini and proudly going to be your presenter here today. Folks, we have almost 3,000 people joining us throughout today's presentations, by far the largest turnout we have had since January of this year. So, folks, I want to thank you all so much for taking the time out of your schedules to see all the fantastic national parks packages that you can take advantage of as early as this summer into the fall and into 2021. Today's presentation is scheduled to be about 45 minutes or so, give or take. And I hope you can stick with me the whole way through because I do have some exciting updates to announce to all of you at the end, and I am going to open it up to any questions and answers as well. Now, for those of you that have ever joined myself on any of my previous presentations, I always like to make them fun, informative, but also interactive. So I'm going to certainly invite all of you to join me and hopefully help answer some fun questions that I have for the audience today. And by the way, how can you answer some of those questions, or how can you certainly ask any questions? On the right-hand side of your screen, folks, is your question box. I want to certainly make sure any of you can feel free to type in any questions that you may have as I go through today's presentation. And again, I will save time at the end to answer any questions that you may have. Also, I did want to mention, feel free to download our two handouts that we have. One is how to, of course, see how you can customize any exciting trip that we have, as well as some of our onboard accommodations and maximum flexibility offer, which I'm going to share with all of you in just a moment. So, folks, what is Amtrak Vacations and who are we part of? We are part of the Yankee Leisure Group family of brands. As you look all the way to the left-hand side, yes, that is our Amtrak Vacations brochure. And by the way, if any of you would like to order a brochure, just give us a call. That number is listed down in the bottom right-hand corner, or certainly you can reach out to your local travel advisor who can send you a catalog as well. But yes, we are the official tour operator in the United States for Amtrak. So what does that mean? Folks, we not only take care of any of the train travel for you, but also hotels, 3, 4, 5-star, 3, 4, 5 diamond hotels, sightseeing tours, meals, activities. We have packages all put together, which you'll see in just a minute, but any of them can be customized. Now, we also operate Yankee holidays. So for those of you out there that may want to do a little drive-in vacation, or maybe you have flights booked for later in the fall and you want to travel to a particular exciting area here in the United States, and all you need is hotel, sightseeing, and lodge, and activities or meals, we got you covered with Yankee Holidays. And our latest and greatest brand all the way to the right-hand side, certainly for those of you dreaming of those trips of a lifetime internationally, Rail Bookers operates all of our Canadian rail train trips, as well as European and worldwide. So again, any of you thinking down the line in the future, in the next year or two, well, we got you covered between all three brands. But today, folks, it is about Amtrak Vacations and in particular, the national parks. Now, if you take a look at this map, everyone, I always love showing this map at the beginning of all of my presentations. Do you know last year alone, over 31 million people traveled on board Amtrak, over 31 million people. So if Amtrak was an airline, it would actually be the 5th largest airline in the United States. Now, interestingly enough, the train actually goes to 46 out of the 48 states within the continental United States. And if you look at all those different colorful lines, folks, that's actually where the trains go, which is fantastic. Now, what makes Amtrak Vacations different? Well, these are the top 6 reasons, everyone. All the way to the bottom left-hand corner, bucket list experience. I can't tell you how many times people have said it's on their wish list, their bucket list, and we can certainly help you do that. We take care of everything. Also, freedom and flexibility. We have daily departures, and in some cases, multiple departures daily. So depending on where you're starting your trip or where you're ending your trip, did you know you can even arrive as close into departure as only 45 minutes to an hour and be able to head out on your trip of a lifetime? Also, hassle-free. We try to make it as easy as we can. And also, I am going to share with all of you some updates. Obviously, with everything going on in the world, Amtrak has really taken a great proactive approach to making sure everything is up to speed in cleanliness. Okay, we have enhanced cleaning protocols. Pretty much every hour, they're cleaning all the trains, cleaning the train stations with sanitizers. They're increasing the disinfectant supplies all throughout. Of course, reinforcing good hygiene practices throughout the stations, throughout the trains. Also, we have gone cashless. Okay, so now you, your friends, your family can pay by credit cards, whether it's on the train as well as at the train stations. If you look on the right-hand side, folks, as I mentioned a minute ago, we are the official tour operator of Amtrak. So again, we not only take care of the train, but hotels, sightseeing tours, meals, activities. The fifth point, all the way to the right-hand side, is city-to-city service. Now, I'm doing today's presentation out of the Boston area, and I always love mentioning, some of the different train stations throughout the United States. So many of them, folks, are located in the heart of the cities. What does that mean for all of you? Great locations to get in and out of the city, to go to and from your hotels, which, by the way, most of all the hotels that we use on all of our packages are located either within walking distance or a short cab ride to the hotel from the train station. And the last picture, or the last point down in the bottom right, is there's something for everyone. And I love this picture right here that you are looking at, folks. As you can see, we cater to all different generations, whether it's any of you looking to travel with your children, grandchildren, your parents or grandparents. And when I look at this picture, everyone, it reminds me of a trip that I did last year down to Florida on the auto train. Now, some of you may be familiar with the auto train. It's actually the only train in the United States that you can actually bring a car, an automobile, a truck, a motorcycle. It actually leaves right from the Washington, D.C. area and travels right down into Sanford, Florida, right outside of Orlando. And when my family and I, we're a family of five, we went on this trip. It departed around 4 p.m. and made no stops. That's the other highlight of that particular train. There are no stops. It brings you directly into Sanford, Florida. But during the evening, traveling down, we had some fantastic games of Uno, which we encourage all of you to do as well. Have a game of cards, spend time with your family, friends, loved ones. Meet some of your other fellow travelers. By the way, my 9-year-old daughter beat all of us, which is fantastic. So again, have fun. One of the questions I often get asked is, Jim, is there wireless available? And wireless is available and it's free of charge. But in some cases, certainly if you're traveling throughout more of the countryside, the rural areas, or even out to the beautiful national parks where you're traveling through more of the mountainous areas, wireless is not available. But I always say, isn't that part of the experience to enjoy the sights and sounds along your journey? Now, let me start out by sharing an important and exciting update. Folks, we have come out with what we call our flexible booking offer. So, what does that mean? Any new or existing reservations, any of them can be changed from your travel dates. If you had to cancel, as long as you let us know before 5 days prior to departure, you will not incur any change or cancellation fees, which is fantastic. All right. And all you need to do, folks, is just let us know before the end of April. So as long as you book with a small deposit before the end of April, you could travel anytime this year, anytime into 2021, and even beyond, everyone, which is great. All right. So keep that in mind. And I know I mentioned it at the beginning of today's presentation, but at the end of the presentation today, I do have an exciting offer only for each and every one of you who took the time to attend. And folks, again, over almost 3,000 people joining us throughout today's presentation, by far the largest turnout that we have had since January. Now, something to keep in mind, okay, I'm going to be showing everyone some of our most popular national parks packages that we have, and you're going to notice many of them happen to be round trip from Chicago. Okay, they're just being used as examples. Any of these trips, as you can see here on the picture, any and all of these trips can start right from your local Amtrak station. So if I have folks joining me here today, you know yourselves the best. If you do not like to fly, you don't feel like driving, all right, and you want to go on any of these exciting national parks trips, or any trips for that matter, round trip on board the train, we have you covered, or certainly a local travel advisor. Now, what does it mean when you customize? Let me give you an example, everyone. If you look all the way to the left-hand side, This is our great 5-day, 4-night Rails to the Grand Canyon package, all right, which happens to be round trip out of Los Angeles. But let's say you want to spend an extra night inside of the Grand Canyon. Maybe it's inside one of the many lodges, such as El Tavar. Well, we can easily add an extra night for you. And let's say you want to spend an extra night in Los Angeles. We can add an extra night in Los Angeles. And what does that equal? That equals your customized vacation. Now, something to keep in mind that I think is so exciting, and this is why the national parks in particular in the Western United States, folks, this is why it's our most popular region of any regions that we travel to in the United States is we can get space for each and every one of you inside those hard to get space lodges. Okay. Some of these lodges, folks, as many of you know, will book up sometimes a year to 2 years in advance. All right. Again, over 31 million people traveled on board Amtrak this past year. So we have the ability to get space inside some of those iconic lodges, whether it's El Tavar, Yavapai, Maswick Lodge. These are just few of the iconic lodges inside the Grand Canyon. Whether it's Glacier Park Lodge over at Glacier National Park, we have you covered. All right, let's move into some of our most popular national parks package. And certainly no surprise, we are going to start out with the Grand Canyon. Folks, we are getting bookings to this day for folks like yourselves traveling as early as this summer as well as into the fall. We have many folks still planning to travel. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, you're going to see a lot of these packages that happen to be round trip from Chicago. So really, you have a couple exciting options. One, again, is if those of you who don't like to fly, we could start your trip right from your local Amtrak station and bring you to and from the Grand Canyon. So again, it could be customized right from your local Amtrak station, or you could certainly book your flights if you choose, and you could fly into Chicago, either into O'Hare or Midway, or your local travel advisor can book the package and take care of your flights, okay? And then you can take advantage of this exciting trip itself. All right, I promised at the beginning, I like making my presentations fun, informative, but also interactive. Now, folks, I did last week's presentations and we had a fantastic audience who participated, had a lot of fun with me. I'm sure each of you are going to be no different. All right. So here's my first question, and I'm not going to call anyone out. All right. I'm not going to call anyone out, but in your question box, folks, on the right hand side of your screen, all right, I want you to type in. All right. Let's see how many folks out there know the name of this train. Folks, what is the name of the train that travels round trip down into Williams and Flagstaff, Arizona on board with Amtrak Vacations? Feel free to type it in on the right hand side. Whoop, I'm seeing a ton of responses. Actually, oh my goodness, almost everyone's getting it correct so far. Keep them coming, everyone. Keep them coming. Oh my goodness, I am impressed. Oh wow. All right, you ready, everyone? The choo-choo train, I like that. Actually, they're all choo-choo trains if you think about it. All right, you ready, everyone? The name of the train is called the Southwest Chief. And by the way, if you look at this map on the right-hand side, folks, this will serve as a good example to all the exciting trips that I'm going to highlight here today. Anytime you see the red line, obviously that represents the train route. But when you see the number 1 in a triangle, a red triangle, that just lets you know, folks, that is an overnight on board the train. Okay. Now, pricing that you see throughout today in our brochure on our website, pricing is always based in coach seating, which is the main seating on board the train. However, we always offer the option to upgrade to either a roomette or a bedroom, which I'm going to show everyone in just a little bit. If you look at the number 1 or the number 2 in a round black circle, that just lets you know how many nights that you're staying in each of the cities or national parks. And again, if any of you want to add extra nights inside the parks, we can easily do that. As I mentioned, folks, you travel on the Southwest Chief. Now, just a little fun trivia for all of you. Did you know the Southwest Chief is part of our train lines that are known as superliner trains? Now, superliner trains, those are going to be the double-decker trains, okay? So these are going to be your much larger trains. These are the iconic, most popular trains within the Amtrak Vacations system. These, again, are going to be long distance. These are going to be the ones that travel out to the beautiful national parks, and you're going to get a chance to see that. And of course, the real highlight of this trip is the beautiful Grand Canyon. Do you know the Grand Canyon is considered to be one of the 7 wonders of the world? And by the way, speaking of the number 7, Over 7 million people visited the Grand Canyon last year. Absolutely fantastic. Now, the beautiful part as well of the Grand Canyon, folks, like I said, we still have a ton of folks still traveling throughout the summer and fall of this year, and also many folks booking their trips. I don't know if all of you feel the same, but the commonality of so many folks out there is everyone's already starting to get antsy, and everyone's already starting to be ready to not only plan to travel on their trips that are already planned for the summer and fall of this year, even into next year, but those are also booking their exciting trips. So you have something to be excited and looking out for. Now, the beautiful part with the Grand Canyon as well, everyone, it operates all year long, anytime from January through December. Some of the national parks, as you'll see today, some of them are what we refer to as seasonal. So they only operate during a certain time of the year. But folks, take a look at this package. I mean, what a great trip. All right. Look at that price too, everyone, in the top left-hand corner. All right. Here's what I always say. A family of 5 staying home for 1 to 2 weeks, you'll spend more money. So why not plan a trip of a lifetime right here in our own backyard in the United States, where you can have lodging inside of the national parks? By the way, take a look, folks, on the left-hand side, the second bullet point down. We travel on the Grand Canyon Railway. So this trip is really special because not only do you travel on the Southwest Chief, as I mentioned to everyone, but you also travel on the Grand Canyon Railway, which is really the iconic Wild West train that travels right from Williams, Arizona into the south rim of the Grand Canyon, which, just so you know, everyone, is only about a 2-hour train ride. And don't be surprised if they do a little show in the morning that's followed by breakfast. So it really is a fun treat. And I'm going to suggest to all of you, certainly any of you interested in the Grand Canyon, definitely consider upgrading to the Dome rail car on board the Grand Canyon Railway. It's just a little bit more expensive per person, but it gives you that much more of an experience. Seats are much larger, food and beverages and snacks are included. Just a great, great trip. All right. Once you arrive in the Grand Canyon, too, you'll be treated for a tour in the afternoon. And by the way, the tour is with a local tour guide, a local park ranger. You see, that's the beauty of all the trips that I'm highlighting here today, and all the trips that we operate, folks. They are independent rail vacations. So what does that mean? We have certain days where tours are included, either for a full day or a half a day. And then you'll also have some days where maybe you have a half a day at leisure, or a full day on your own to go back to some of those sites you want to visit, to spend more time in other areas. As you can see, we also include some meals as well, okay, within the package. Now, for those of you that want to not only see the Grand Canyon, but you'd love to see even more national parks, what you're looking at, is one of our top 3 most popular national parks packages. And by the way, keep in mind the number 3, all right? Because not only does it include 3 amazing national parks, Yellowstone, Yosemite, and the Grand Canyon, but it also includes 3, or shall I say 4, actually 4 train rides, okay? The first train travels on the train known as the California Zephyr, all right, from Chicago out to Salt Lake City over into San Francisco. The second train goes from San Francisco down to Los Angeles. That is known as the Coast Starlight, folks. And then the last train, as you all got correct, or most of all of you, is on the Southwest Chief, okay? And that's the train from Los Angeles to Williams back to Chicago. And again, for those of you that may have just joined us, as you look at the packages, many of these exciting packages happen to be round trip from Chicago. But again, any trip can be round trip right from your local Amtrak station. All right. All you need to do is just give us a call or contact your local travel advisor, who can package it right from your local Amtrak station. Again, if any of you don't like to fly or you don't feel like driving. But this is a great package. Let me kind of walk you through some of the highlights. Obviously, Salt Lake City, we travel there. You get a chance to spend an overnight there, have dinner at the rooftop restaurant. From there, it's then off into Yellowstone. By the way, Yellowstone, just a little fun trivia. Do you know it's the world's first national park? 96% of the park is located in the great state of Wyoming. 3% is located in Montana, and 1% located in Idaho. And interestingly enough, Yellowstone National Park, it's actually larger. Imagine this, everyone. It's actually larger than the states of Rhode Island and Delaware combined. Imagine that. So combined Rhode Island and Delaware Yellowstone National Park is even larger than those two states. Now, we also travel to Yosemite National Park, and you can kind of see the contrast in the different color scenery. Yosemite, of course, known for its beautiful waterfalls, as you can see on the right-hand side, became a national park back in 1890. And you can't travel out to the Western United States, of course, without getting a chance to have a sightseeing tour of Los Angeles, which includes Hollywood, as well as Beverly Hills, and without a doubt, the Grand Canyon. All right. Do you know they estimate some of the rocks at the bottom of the Grand Canyon are estimated to be up to 2 billion with a B, 2 billion years old. So again, so much iconic scenery right here in the United States. So again, this is a great package for those of you who want to not only see the Grand Canyon, but see multiple national parks, experience multiple trains, travel overnight on some of those trains with the option to upgrade to a sleeper. Well, we got you covered. Others of you now might be interested in some of the other iconic national parks in the Western United States, such as Bryce, Zion, all right, Capitol Reef. Well, folks, we have you covered. In fact, this package has become one of our most popular new packages that we have come out with in the last 2 years. Now, what you'll see as I go through, some of these national parks that you visit, you actually cannot access by train. There are no trains that go into Bryce or Zion. But folks, we got you covered because now we include private sedan service that fits anywhere from 6 to 8 people. Your driver, he or she is also your tour guide, and they're going to bring you throughout some of these iconic national parks. And we're going to start out with Arches National Park. So this is going to be one of those sites, again, where you'll travel right from on board the train and you'll travel into Arches National Park in your private sedan service with some of your other fellow travelers. Again, a small group of 6 to 8 people. Another day, you'll then travel out to the beautiful Zion National Park, as well as Lake Powell, I may mention as well. And these are going to be full day guided tours, which is really fantastic. Again, with your local sedan service driver guide. He or she will also be your guide who will take you also through Bryce and Capitol Reef. Just a fantastic package to consider. Again, for those of you that want to visit these national parks, we have you covered as well. And as you can see, again, all the highlights are listed on the left-hand side. Pricing that you see is based in double occupancy, so it's per person with the, of course, single rates available for any of you traveling as solo travelers. Now, a trip that's near and dear to my heart, and I was excited to share this package with all of you. This always, every year, and I've been on board here 7 years with the Amtrak Vacations, folks, every year since I've been here has been one of the top 3 most popular, fastest booking trips that we have had of any national parks. Now, I mentioned earlier, some of the national parks are what we refer to as seasonal. What does that mean? They only operate during a certain time of the year. So unlike the Grand Canyon, which you could travel anytime from January through December, Glacier National Park, it only operates from the month of June through the month of September. So it's only open for 4 months a year. So it definitely sells out fast. So if any of you have this on your bucket list, your wish list, I encourage you to pick up that phone, give us or your local travel advisor a call. All right, here's my next question. You ready, everyone? In your question box on the right-hand side of your screen, folks, I want you to type in, what is the name of the train that travels out to Glacier National Park? Who here wants to type it in? Again, I'm not going to call anyone out. Feel free on the right-hand side, folks, type in the answer. What is the name of this train? Oh my goodness. All right. I'm seeing it. Almost every one of you has it right. I'm seeing all the answers. I love it. Keep them coming, folks. Again, I'm not going to call anyone out. Let's have a little fun together. Wow. I got to admit, everyone, you are definitely very knowledgeable when it comes to these trains. I have to give you all lots of credit. Folks, you almost everyone got it correct. You ready? The name of this train is called, ready? Little drum roll. Here we go. The Empire Builder, folks. The Empire Builder. One of the top 3 most scenic train routes in the United States, and in particular with the Amtrak Vacations. As I mentioned, folks, I had the pleasure of traveling out to Glacier National Park just about 2 years ago. So I wanted to include just a few of my own photos inside of today's presentation. There's a close-up view of the Empire Builder on the right-hand side. Look at the size of that train, folks. By the way, again, that's one of our double-decker trains. That's one of our super liner trains. Absolutely fantastic. There's a picture of myself with some of my colleagues in the top left-hand corner with the attendant on board the train. All right. You have the menu down in the bottom left, which I'll get to in a little bit when we talk about cuisine. And by the way, speaking of cuisine, everyone, take a look at that picture in the top left-hand corner. Who here wants to take a guess? Feel free to type in on the right-hand side. Who wants to take a guess? What do you think the name of that dessert is that is only iconic in the states of Montana and Idaho that I actually got inside of Glacier Park Lodge? Who here wants to take a guess? It's not blueberry pie. I'll give you a hint. It's only iconic in the state of Montana and Idaho. Oh, I see it. I see a few of them. Huckleberry pie. Huckleberry pie. That's right, everyone. Huckleberry pie. By the way, it took me all the power I had not to eat that piece of pie before taking a picture. As you can see, I already started eating it, but it was a lot of fun. That's some of my fellow colleagues and I down in the restaurant located inside of Glacier Park Lodge. By the way, for those of you that are familiar with Fort Wilderness Lodge down in Florida, this was the inspiration behind Fort Wilderness. This, what you're looking at in the middle of all these photos, everyone, is inside the lobby of Glacier Park Lodge. Okay, iconic, high ceilings, has that rustic Wild West feel. But if you take a look, folks, in the top right-hand corner, that is a picture that I took of the train station in the background behind the flag of how close it is to Glacier Park Lodge. That is the Amtrak train station, folks. Do you know you are literally within 209 steps away from the Amtrak station? So if you ever hear that saying location, 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 that truly does not get to be a better location. So I actually walked with my luggage right from the train station to the lodge. However, they do have vans that will pick you up and bring you to and from the lodge for any of you that would need any assistance. And that's a picture of us down in the bottom right-hand corner at Glacier Park Lodge train station. Now, what's nice is after we arrived the first evening, we had the evening at leisure. We had dinner on our own right there in the restaurant. The next day was a full day sightseeing tour with a local tour guide. And folks, that's the transportation that we traveled in that you'll get a chance to travel in. Certainly for any of you interested in Glacier National Park, it's a red jitney bus service. Only fits about 14 or 15 people. Your driver is your tour guide. It picked us up right from the front doorstep of Glacier Park Lodge. It took us all day throughout the park itself, and we were back by dinner time. Obviously, once we were in the park, we had stops along the way to take pictures, videos. We met some of the local park rangers, as you can see on the right-hand side. Absolutely fantastic. So anyone wanting and interested in Glacier National Park, folks, we still have some space left for the summer of this year and already booking packages in the spring and summer of 2021. Actually, starting in June of 2021 into September, as well as even the summer of this year. Now, besides some of the most iconic national parks, folks, we still have some great city getaways. So any of you that are looking for a little quick getaway, even besides the national parks, in the meantime, as early again as this summer and fall, we have packages such as New Orleans. We have destinations such as Niagara Falls, which, by the way, over 8 million people visited Niagara Falls last year. Absolutely amazing. And yes, you do need a passport if you cross over to the Canadian border, but we do have hotel properties also in the US as well. So depending on which side you would like to stay on, and last but not least, our nation's capital in Washington, D.C. But we have over 40 different city and destinational getaways besides the national parks here in the United States to take advantage of. I did want to mention again, for any of you that may have joined us a little late, any of our packages and our rail vacations, you could choose between 3, 4, up to 5-star, 5-diamond hotels. So depending on what type of properties you prefer and you like, we have you covered, and or your local travel advisor. All right, the last portion of today's presentation before we open it up to any questions is about the train. And before I move into seating and sleeping accommodations on board the train, here's a big highlight, folks. Did you know you're allowed 2 free carry-on bags per person, and 2 pieces of checked luggage per person. And here's the best part, everyone, for free. All right, you can bring 2 pieces of luggage, 2 carry-on bags per person for free, and you can check them in as close in as 45 minutes to departure. Now, if you take a look at the first level of accommodations, here is our coach accommodation. So again, all pricing that you saw today, as well as on our website in our brochure, pricing is based in coach accommodations with the option to upgrade to a sleeper, which I'm going to show everyone in just a minute. But folks, look at the leg room that you get, even in coach accommodations. I'm going to give you another big highlight as well. There are no middle seats on board the trains, folks. All right. So I don't know if any of you have ever been caught in a middle seat like I have, but there are no middle seats. And that's beautiful. Whenever we fly, obviously we could have the chance of being in a middle seat, but not on board any of the trains. In fact, whenever I see any folks, and for any of you joining me that are taller in height, traveling by train is such a fantastic way to travel. As again, I mentioned lots of leg room. You have outlets to charge your mobile device, your iPhone, your iPad, your laptop. Above the overhead, plenty of space for your carry-on bags or luggage. Also, you can bring your own snacks and food on board the train. So I know I mentioned earlier about the auto train with my family and I, but that's the other nice part too, folks. I remember when I traveled, I think we had 1 to 2 pieces of luggage just filled with snacks and goodies for the kids. Now, because we're talking about the beautiful national parks, folks, let's talk about the sleepers. Because obviously, any of you that are dreaming or want to go to the national parks, you definitely want to consider upgrading to either a roomette or a bedroom. Now, what you're looking at right here, everyone, these are our most popular and our most affordable sleeping category of any categories on board the train. All right, roomettes. As you can see, the lower bunk bed during the day folds into 2 seats that face each other. They have climate controls. There's a small closet inside of the roomette, a fold down table. But what you'll look at on the left-hand side on the diagram, what you'll notice is there's no toilet or shower inside the room. But remember, folks, this is our most popular and our most affordable category of any sleeping category on board the train. Why? Because right down the hall, we have what we call private yet shared toilets and showers. So the only people that have access to those toilets and showers are people that are in roomettes, bedrooms, or even handicap accessible rooms. Now, you know yourselves the best. If you want your own private toilet and shower inside the room, folks, we have you covered, okay? That is a bedroom. Now, bedroom, as you can see on the diagram in the left-hand side, it does have its own private toilet, shower, and vanity inside the room. However, it also has room for a small child down in the lower bunk bed, all right? So if any of you are traveling with a small child, you can actually fit them in the lower bunk bed, which is 1.5 times as wide as the top bunk bed. So again, I mentioned earlier, my family and I traveling on the auto train. Well, we had what we call 2 adjoining bedrooms. Some of the trains in the United States, you actually have the ability to have adjoining bedrooms. So if any of you are traveling with your family or friends and you want to see if that's an option, just let us know or let your a local travel advisor know, and we will help you with those arrangements. Now, whether you're in a roomette, a bedroom, or a handicap accessible room, folks, all your meals are included on board the train from the city you depart from until the city you arrive in, okay? Now, one update I wanted to share with everyone, I've had this question come up a few times, and that is a little update on the meals, which is going over extremely popular with all of our travelers worldwide. Folks, any of the trains that are from Chicago east to New York, or New York down to Florida, east to Chicago, we now what we have flexible dining. Okay, what does that mean? You can order what you want off a selection of items, then you can go and eat in the dining car, in the lounge car, or bring it back to your room as you please. More of that flexible dining to eat where and when you want, okay? Again, obviously the trains in the eastern United States, you're gonna get shorter distance. Many folks are traveling, more commuters. So this is served to be extremely successful, just like it has for many of the major cruise lines out there. However, for all the trips going out to the national parks, Glacier, Yellowstone, Yosemite, Grand Canyon, these are gonna be your traditional sit-down meals, order off the menu, okay? Certain times to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, okay? Waiter, waitress. By the way, if any of you have any special dietary requests, just let us or your local travel advisor know, and we'll make those arrangements. Now, before we open it up to any questions that you may have, I did have a few fun little updates for all of you. We have what we call everyday discounts. So, folks, take a look at the top part, children. That's actually not a typo. If any of you are traveling with your children or grandchildren, look what they get off on their trips. If they're between the ages of 2 and 12, they can qualify for up to 50% off the rail portion of an Amtrak Vacations package. So the rail portion would be the rail ticket within the package. Any of you that are 65 or older, you could qualify for 10% off. Military, obviously, thank you for your service and support. You, your spouses, your dependents can also qualify for up to 10% off. I know I mentioned it at the beginning, but I got to mention it again because I think this is just a fantastic offer that we have going on right now. And folks, this is our maximum flexibility offer. So again, just a reminder, any of you that book a new reservation or any of you that have an existing reservation, you have the ability to change your travel dates or cancel as long as you let us know before 5 days prior to departure, and there'll be no change or cancellation fee. All right, folks, even if you know where you want to go, but you're not sure exactly on the date, as long as you book with us before the end of April 30th of this year to travel anytime as early as this late summer into the fall and into 2021, you have that flexibility. And speaking of flexibility, again, any trip can be customized, all right, to be as long or as short as you would like. Any trip can start right from your local Amtrak station. So again, if any of you do not like to fly or you don't feel like driving, we have you covered because we go all over the United States, okay? We have you covered all over the United States. Now, I promised all of you I had some exciting news for each and every one of you. Folks, if you have a pen and paper or you have an iPhone and you want to take a picture right here, right now, this is our way of saying thank you to each and every one of you. And folks, again, almost 3,000 people joining us throughout today's presentation. By far our largest turnout that we have had since January of this year. And here's the offer. You ready, everyone? Any package that you're interested in, okay? Any package, this qualifies for you, okay? Because each of you took the time to join us today. If you upgrade on any package to a sleep and accommodation, whether it's a roomette, a bedroom, or even a handicap accessible room, if you upgrade to any sleep and accommodation, we will take $100 off the total booking. And all you need to do is give us a call or contact your local travel advisor before the end of the day of Friday next week, April 10th. And that is good to show anytime, to travel anytime this year, as well as into 2021. And with our maximum flexibility offer, there isn't a better opportunity to not only take advantage of some additional savings, but also have the flexibility if you did have to change the date or you did want to revise your trip, okay? You have that peace of mind. All right, so just want to mention that to all of you. By the way, the promotion code is NatParks100, standing for National Parks 100. All right, so this is a great offer. We have not offered some fantastic offers like this in quite a while, and we wanted to offer this to each and every one of you for taking the time to join us today. So, folks, I see we have a lot of questions that have come in. So, again, I'm going to save some time as promised to answer as many questions as I can. And if I can't get to all your questions, folks, again, we will definitely reach out to you and help answer those for you. But I just wanted to remind everyone, don't forget to download your 2 handouts that we have on the right-hand side of your screen. But before I open it up to your questions, folks, my last question for each and every one of you, and by the way, thank you all so much. You all have been fantastic participating today. On the right-hand side of your screen, folks, I'm going to give you a minute or two, all right? And just type in, I'm not going to call anyone out on the webinar, just type in, folks, what rail vacations or vacation and destinations are you interested in and when? All right, so feel free to type in on the right-hand side of your screen. Whoop, I'm already, I'm already getting a ton of responses. Fantastic. All right, Glacier, Grand Canyon, Glacier, Yellowstone, Yosemite, New York City, Washington, D.C., very cool. New Orleans, Canadian Rockies, very cool. By the way, we can go to Canadian Rockies as well, everyone, because we partner with Via Rail as well, which is the National Train of Canada. Yellowstone, Grand Canyon, Portland, Oregon, parts of the Southwest, Washington, D.C., Fantastic. Boston. Oh, very cool. Yes. Fantastic. All right, folks. Keep those answers coming. I love it. And I appreciate all of your participation, folks. Do you know travel is one of the top three most talked about subjects in the world? And folks, here we are right here, right now, for all of us that are just ready and anxious to travel, already have our trips planned or looking to book these exciting trips so you have something to be excited for and look out for. We got you covered. All right. So I did want to mention, folks, again, feel free to give us a call. All right. There is our phone number on the right-hand side. You can also view some of these trips online, but the best way, pick up the phone, give us a call, or contact your local travel advisor, who, again, not only can book any of these packages, but also book any flights for you as well. So with that in mind, folks, we have a ton of questions, which is fantastic. So I am going to do my very, very best to try to answer as many of them as possible. All right, but I did want to say thank you to all of you. Folks, stick around for another 10, 15 minutes because I think some of these questions that I go over might just be questions that you may be thinking about yourself. So first one from Scott. Hi, Scott. Oh, thank you, Scott, for the kind words. Appreciate it. Jim, can we get specialty drinks like Irish coffee on board the train? Great question, Scott. Well, let me answer this in two parts, okay? Most of the choices for any alcoholic beverages, they're going to be choices more such as red, white wine, sparkling wine. They do have a different variation of cocktails. So they do have some availability for different specialty drinks. Obviously, beer is a choice. But I did want to mention any of you that are inside of any roomette, bedroom, handicap accessible room. Did you know you can bring your own alcoholic beverages on board the train? And you can have those, but they do need to be consumed. Whatever you do drink does need to be consumed from the privacy of your own room. So anyone in sleepers, you can bring alcoholic beverages, but you cannot bring those out to the dining car at dinner time. But you can have whatever you would like, but it just needs to be consumed from the privacy of your own room, whatever that you consume as well. All right. I hope that helps, Scott. Mary, how much are deposits? Deposits on an average, Mary, only about $250 per person. Okay. And then obviously we offer an optional trip protection insurance that just gives you that peace of mind if you had to cancel for any reason. Elliot, hi Elliot. I walk with a cane. How much of a hindrance? What are the sleeping and showering accommodations like? Great questions, Elliot. So walking with the cane, not an issue. We have folks all the time that have canes. If anyone needs any wheelchair assistance, the attendants are on board to help out as well. We can always request a room on the first level as well, Elliot, to make it easier for yourselves. And as far as the sleeping and shower accommodations, obviously, if you have a bedroom or a handicap accessible room for any folks that need it, the toilets and showers will be inside of the room along with your vanity. As far as anyone that's in a roomette, again, toilets and showers are down the hall, just like they would be at your own homes. And they're actually full-size toilets and showers. So it's also probably why roomettes are also, again, our most popular category and most affordable as well, because again, you have that ability. But you know yourselves the best, whatever you prefer. Oh, thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. So I'm just trying to scroll through these again. Allison, can you please put the picture of the map up again? Absolutely, Allison. Let me go back. All right, while I'm reading through some of these questions. All right, here we go. Yes, today's presentation is being recorded, so you're certainly more than welcome to share it with any of your friends, family, to plan that next exciting rail vacation. All right, just going through. By the way, again, thanks so much, everyone, for your participation. Really appreciate it. Let's see here. All right, just going through. Meals. Hi, Gary. Meals that are included. Yeah, so those are meals for the entire package. We do like to give our travelers that flexibility to have meals on your own at some of the local, iconic restaurants. Some folks sometimes only want a coffee and a bagel for breakfast, so we do like to include some meals, but also give you that option to have meals as large or as small as you want on your own at, again, some of the local iconic restaurants. All right. Let's see. Okay. Gary, yeah, another question. Does Amtrak service between New Orleans and Jacksonville? So, Gary, that is still in the works. Waiting on Congress to hopefully approve that. But I know it's one of the top things on Amtrak's list. Realistically, it'll probably be another year or two before you'll see that train route operating again. So just wanted to mention that. Great question. Let's see here. Just moving through. Thank you, everyone. I'm just reading some comments, enjoying the presentation. Fantastic. Um, let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, yes. So, has Amtrak been affected by any of what's going on in the world? Interestingly enough, everyone, there's only been a few short commuter routes that they've only temporarily suspended service, but all of our train routes, the majority of all of the train routes in the United States are still operating. And if they are temporarily suspended, then obviously we're anticipating they'll be up and running. But the majority of the national parks packages are still operating, and certainly we got a lot of folks planning to travel as early as this summer into the fall as well. All right, let's see. Okay, just moving through, moving through. Jim, I am a family of 6 from St. Louis. Can we go to the Grand Canyon and back? Absolutely, absolutely, Steve. So you can definitely do that. All right. Hi, Judith. How are you? Coast Starlight. Any of the trains be supplied with new parlor cars and furniture? Great, yeah, great point, Judith. I will tell you, they over the last 7 years that I've been on board, Amtrak has definitely done a real good job updating a lot of their equipment as well as the train stations. They did also get some additional funding as well from Congress, which very, very excited about, which is also going to go into not only of course, enhancing all the train systems, but also even looking at considering to add some new train lines as well, or new train routes. So thank you. All right. Judith, hi Judith. Please mention the roomettes require the agility to reach the top bunk. Yep. So certainly, great point, Judith. So yeah, if anyone, by the way, there's attendants. Any of you that are in sleeping accommodations, there's an attendant on board each of the sleeping car who's there available to help anyone if you need it, whether it's to get up to the top bunk bed. They do have a little ladder on the side, and it does have a bar that folds up to protect any folks that are staying in the top bunk. I always say too, folks, you know yourselves the best. If you feel more comfortable to be in a lower bunk, what a lot of folks do sometimes is they'll get 2 roomettes across the hall from each other, even if they're single travelers or they're traveling together, but they'll have their own room across the hall. So then you're both in the lower bunk bed, if you prefer. So whatever works out easier. But again, the staff is there to help. Julia, hi Julia. Do we need to tip the dining attendants? Great question, Julia. Yes, so it is optional, but I always suggest to always consider tipping the waiter or waitress. And really, rule of thumb is whatever you would normally tip at any breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So it's a good question. And again, now with Amtrak going cashless right now, you can be able to put that right on a credit card for the waiter or waitress. Okay, great question, Julia. Typical, again, another question on the deposit. On an average, $250 on an average per person. Hi, Ted. Can I get a map that you are showing? Absolutely, Ted. If you go on the Amtrak Vacations website, amtrakvacations.com, you can actually download one of the maps that I just showed, and anybody can. We have a downloadable map available. I did want to mention we just had a gentleman who asked if I can show the exclusive offer again that we have going on from now until, again, Friday of next week. So this, again, is for any national parks package that you book. If you upgrade to a sleeper, whether it's a roomette, a bedroom, or a handicap accessible room, all right, to travel anytime this year or even anytime in 2021, as long as you upgrade to a sleeper, we'll take $100 off the total cost. All right, thank you very much. All right, thanks so much, Cindy. All right, let's see. Okay, just moving through. Is it possible to take the Glacier National Park trip without the return trip back to Chicago? Yes, Daria, great question. Any of these trips do not have to be round trip. You could travel one way, stay in the different hotels, lodges, sightseeing, and then at the end you could fly back home on your own, or your local travel advisor could book that, or you could travel down to another area and then fly home. Absolutely, any trip does not have to be round trip. You could start in one city and end in another. Can I use AGR points? Great question, Scott. You can earn AGR points. You cannot use AGR points on any of our rail vacations, but you definitely can earn those AGR points. So certainly when you speak to any of our reservationists or your local travel advisor, just let them know so we can add your points to any of our packages. Nicole, meals included on the train? Yes. Again, if you're in any sleepers, meals are included at no additional charge. If you're in coach seating, meals are available, but at an extra charge, just an additional charge for any folks that are in sleepers. All right, move it through again. Thanks, folks. Lots of questions on some of the maps. So yes, we can help you with that. Let's see. Sue, hi Sue. Do you still offer a 3-stop and get off for days? In 1990, I took my 8 and 10-year-old children from Chicago to Boston, Boston to San Antonio, and then yes, Sue. Here's the beauty, and again, this is for everyone joining myself. We have packages all put together. Okay, so wherever you're thinking about, we have packages to those areas. And if there's something that isn't exactly what you're looking for, again, any trip can be customized. So if you want, to want to reenact or reinvent that 3-stop package, Sue, that you did years ago with your 8 and 10-year-old children at the time, we definitely can do that for you or anyone. Again, that's the beauty, folks. Wherever the train goes, we can create a package for you. By the way, there's over 500 Amtrak stations throughout the United States, folks, believe it or not, that you can start or end your trip. All right. Hi, Dominica. I live in Tucson. What travel packages are available from Tucson? Well, here's the beauty, Dominica. Tucson is one of the train stations, so you can head east out to San Antonio and New Orleans, or you can head west out, of course, to California, and you work your way up the coast. Any trip can start or end wherever there's a local Amtrak station, or again, you could fly to a particular city and begin your rail journey then, however you choose, Dominica. Great question, though. Thank you. All right, lots of great responses. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Hi, Christine. I've driven cross country on the 70, 80, and 40 many times. I would love a train that goes along these routes somewhere. I want to see Arizona again, so I would want to go to the Grand Canyon. Great, absolutely. We have a lot of, it's a great point, Christine. We have a lot of folks that travel with us that want to, not only, as I mentioned, travel on a trip that maybe they did years ago with their children or grandchildren, but also, follow some of the most iconic highways, right? Like Route 66, as an example, Christine, right? That's popular. In fact, we have some packages that trace Route 66, except by train. All right. Robert, hi, Robert. Did you say food is free on the train? So, Robert, food is free of charge if you are in a sleeper. So, any of you that upgrade to a sleeper, and by the way, there isn't a better time to do that than right here, right now, with our new offer. There's no additional charge for any of the meals as long as you're in a sleeper, a roomette, a bedroom, or a handicap accessible room. If any of you are in coach seating, meals are available, but it's at an additional charge, okay? Hope that helps. All right. Hi, Carol. How long is the Yellowstone Yosemite Grand Canyon package? So that package itself, Carol, ranges anywhere from 11, 12, 13 days. And again, any trip can be customized. So if you want to add days or you want to take out days, our goal is to always find the right package at the right price for each and every one of you as well. All right. All right, moving along. Let's see. And again, folks, I'm trying to get to as many questions as I can. Let's see here. Okay, just moving along. Okay. Okay, what about parking? Great question, Robert. What about parking at the train station? Yes, so many of the major train stations, they do offer what they call long-term parking, which means you can leave your car there overnight. My suggestion is wherever you're looking to travel, just check if you prefer to drive and leave your car at the train station, at the parking lot. You could do that if that particular train station has a parking lot. Otherwise, I will tell you many times I just take a taxi or an Uber, or I have family usually drop me off, depending on my length of trip. So again, if it's a short getaway and they offer parking, feel free to go right ahead and do that as well. All right, here we go. What about coffee? Great question, Ed. Yeah, so coffee, By the way, coffee is available for any folks that are in sleepers. They have a coffee station down at the end of each of the sleeping cars, and it's just open for any folks that are in sleepers. And obviously, at any of the meals, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, coffee or tea is available as well, and that's at no additional charge. The only item that's additional at dinner times would be any alcoholic beverages for any folks that are eating in the dining car. Okay, even if you're in a sleeper, that's the only item not included. All right, let's see. Okay, da, da, da. Um, let's see. Oh, so okay, great question, Lynette. Can you cover safety, security, in general, please? Absolutely. So obviously, with everything going on in the world right now, Amtrak has enhanced even their protocol as far as checking folks at the train stations, making sure everything, of course, is that much more up to speed. Literally every hour upon the hour, they're sanitizing everything within the train stations, all the key areas where people would be touching or going, as well as on board the train station. And they do have Amtrak guards as well throughout all the major train stations. So really have done a nice job just making sure the folks still feel nice and comfortable. All right, let's see here. Okay. Ted. Hi, Ted. Great question. The question is, what percentage more are cost of the dome seat? So, on an average, folks, this is so to go from a coach seat to a roomette, on an average, you're maybe looking at a couple $100 extra per person to upgrade from a coach seat to a roomette. Bedrooms are going to be double that amount because bedrooms again has its own private toilet and shower inside the room. But Ted, thank you for asking that. This is another reason why if you look at this great offer we have going on, it really gives you that opportunity to upgrade to one of those sleeping categories at a very good discounted rate. And now, of course, with everything going on right now with the maximum flexibility offer, which I'm going back to real quick right now. This will give you that peace of mind as well. All right. Let's see. Hi, Julia. Does Coach have access to the showers? So Coach does not have access to the showers. Only people that are in roomettes, bedrooms, or handicap accessible rooms. Okay. Charlene, how big are the showers in the room? So a little smaller in configuration than a normal size shower would be. All right, so the private yet shared showers are going to be full size, shower, regular, normal, standard size. We do list those parameters as well on our website, or any of the vacation consultants or your local travel advisor can give you more specifics. But in the bedroom, it's a little smaller in size, but obviously the convenience is it's right in your room as well. All right, let's see. Hi, Patricia. Can you book a roomette and sleeper bedroom next to each other if you need rooms? Absolutely, you can. So, yeah, so typically, roomettes are across the hall from each other, and bedrooms are typically towards the front of the sleeping cars. So we could be able to get you the first roomette and the last bedroom. So they back to back is how we would do the configuration. Great question, Patricia. Thank you. And folks, we got a couple more minutes. And again, let me just say, again, we got almost 3,000 people that joined us for today's presentation. So if I am not able to get to your question, rest assured we will reach out to all of you, or certainly more importantly, reach out to us. Our vacation consultants are here waiting to help each of you, or certainly a local travel advisor as well. All right. Let's see here. Um, let's see. Okay, good question. Carter, I took a roomette once that had a toilet in the room. Do they no longer have toilets? So great question, Carter. So all the trains in the eastern United States, okay, the eastern, known as Viewliners, they actually do have its own private toilet on the in the roomettes in the eastern United States. But all the national parks, which is the highlighted today, all the long distance iconic train rides, those roomettes do not have toilets or showers inside the room. They're right down the hall. But again, remember, roomettes, most popular and most affordable as well. All right. Let's see. Hi, Judith. Let's see. Okay. Oh, thank you, Judith. Appreciate your kind words. Yes, you definitely can earn Amtrak reward points. Again, you can't use the reward points towards a trip, but you definitely can earn those reward points. So please feel free to do that as well. All right, let's see. Okay, just getting a few of the similar questions. Thank you very much, Hank. I appreciate your kind words. Thanks, Donna. Yep. Thanks, Mary. Let's see. Where can we access the recording? Again, everyone will get a copy of this recording today as well that you can listen to at a later time or share with your friends and family. Again, any folks that want a map of the one I showed you, you could just go on amtrakvacations.com and you can just download our downloadable map right there. Make it nice and easy for you. Okay. Yes, absolutely. You got it. Yep. You got it, Jenny. Thank you. Fantastic. All right, folks, we are just about out of time. Again, if I was not able to get to your questions, folks, don't even think twice. Pick up that phone. We have a short hold time. You can get right through to us, or certainly we'll be back in touch with you. Folks, I just wanted to say so much. Thank you sincerely for taking the time to join us. I hope you enjoyed today's presentation as much as I enjoyed presenting. I think you could tell that I love travel, and I hope each and every one of you do. Folks, for those of you that have your trip already booked and planned as early as this summer and fall, we are still operating. We still have those trips planning to go, and I know you're going to have a trip of a lifetime. And for those of you that are looking to travel anywhere in the United States, whether it's to the national parks or any of the other great cities and attractions, we go all over. And I want to thank you all so much for your participation. And more than anything, folks, we look forward to having you, your friends, and your family on board soon with Amtrak Vacations. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great rest of the day. Take care.